Hello racers, and welcome to today's video. And today's video is the second episode of this two-wheel drive buggy series where we try to take the TLR 5.0 with the special 4-gear stand-up transmission and try to get it on the podium. Now, this episode's race is another trophy race. It is the Maritime Race of Champions. And we're going to try to get this on the podium of that race. We got a new body painted up in the yellow and black colors. We'll see that on the track. So the proposed changes that we're going to do for this race is I've been watching a few videos on this car racing, a few club videos, and what I noticed that it needs is a bit more steering in and out of corners. So maybe what it needs is a little higher roll center in the front. You can see that I've already added a wing to the front on the shock tower, and that'll help with high speed steering. So I'm looking for a little bit more low speed steering, especially out of corners and into corners. I've got a few tricks up my sleeve that we'll try. Now, we're going to have to try these things on track once we see the track conditions. So the next part of the video will be to go check out the track conditions. But one thing I could do is to change the roll center in the front. I feel that it isn't rolling enough in the front, so I may lower the roll center. I think the front roll center right now is quite high. I do notice a shim out on the edge and a very thin shim inboard, and that would be a high roll center. And I think there are no shims under that plate, the toe plate there, or if it is, it's very thin. So I think this is set up as a high roll center front, and we'll adjust that. So we got that option. We also have the option of changing the variable length arms, move it in one. And what I've read about that is it will remove some initial steering but give you more mid-corner steering, and that may be helpful. In the rear, I'm very hesitant to remove anything that would change the rear grip. Right now we do have somewhat of a low roll center. I could change the shim out on the hub. I have the hubs as low as I can get them. I have them as forward as I can get them. So that will give me the most rear grip. So after that, we're going to just start focusing on some front steering. I think the rear grip is pretty good. We'll leave it as it is. There are a few more things that we could do to get more rear grip. One thing is lowering the links down. I could take this 2mm shim out, and I could move this top rack down a bit, and that would be the most side bite I could get on this car. We'll see what the track conditions are. I'm expecting low to medium grip conditions, and probably less grip as the day goes. Okay, so bear with me. Let's go to the track. Let's check out the surface, and then we'll think about what adjustments that we can make on race day. Okay, we'll see you there. Here we are at the Windy Acres Offroad Raceway, and this is the Maritime Race of Champions. Just want to let you know what we're up against here. You can see the track is pretty expansive. There's a large step up jump there, and close to the driver's stand there's a double-double, and there's a crossover. Now all of these jumps are easily doable with a two-wheel drive buggy. I just want to show you the track surface. So in this race we are once again looking at a hard packed surface with a layer of dust. See that in the groove is polished, but then out of the groove you see just going by there a large plume of dust. If you get out of the groove you can see the tire tracks. So it tends to work good here in this situation is a lower roll center to get the roll, but you can't get too low. You still need a bit of a high roll center to get your side grip. So what you would do is set a car up with low axles to the arms for side grip. You want really a lot of side grip, and then a low roll center for that bite. Again, it's hard packed with a layer of dust. So I'll keep you up to date on the changes we make, and we'll take a look at the final race. See you in a bit. Racers, we are back. I just unloaded the car from the two-wheel buggy out of the car. Thought I'd do a quick review before we look at the final race video. Now, on race day, there wasn't a whole lot of time to actually do adjustments, but I'll show you what I did change. First thing is I installed a front wing on the shock tower. See it up there? And what that does is keeps the front down during a high speed steering section, like a big sweeper. And this track is quite long, so I added a front wing to give myself some more steering in the high speed sections. The next thing I did to get a bit of low speed steering is I unwound the front shock ride height. I gave it about a half a turn on each side to lower the front in comparison to the back. Before, the ride height was about 23 millimeters front and back, so I think I put about 21 or 22 millimeters of ride height in the front, with remaining the 23 in the back. The shocks are in their middle holes, top and bottom. You can see I have the hubs, the front hubs, down as low as pretty much they'll go, with a very small shim on the top. The front ride roll center, you can see, very small, maybe a 1 millimeter shim inboard, 2 millimeters outboard, maybe probably a 1 and maybe just a half a 1 in the front. So that's pretty well a neutral front. In the rear, I'll take the body off just so you can see. You can see I painted up a new body. Nothing new inside. The rear of the car has about a 2 millimeter shim out on the hub. The rear links are all the way up. 50 grams of weight hanging off the back, trying to get the rear end to stick. The rear hubs are the low hubs. The rear shock is set to the middle in the back and all the way out in the top. So that is the setup. Let's now go see how this car did in the race. Now, the whole goal of this video is to get this car on the podium. Let's see how we did. Oh, before I mention, I'll just talk about the qualifiers. In practice, this car was working really well. First qualifier, I had a tire come unglued. Apparently it was my first day gluing tires. I had a tire come unglued. You can see terrible job I did at putting it back on the rim. Second qualifier worked perfect with those tires. I had a great second qualifier. Switched my tires to my final tires just to see make sure everything was good. And in the third qualifier, a tire again came off. So for whatever reason, it was either glue or prep. I'm not 100% sure, but I had tire problems. I couldn't do the tuning I wanted. But with trackside, glue up the tire, got on the track, and you'll see how I did in the final race. Okay, here we go. Here we are, racers, and you'll see at the start of this race, yellow and black car, second. I managed to qualify second in this two-wheel drive buggy AMA. So I had a great second qualifier, going up through the top left, coming down into the bottom left now. Over the step up, jumped into the center in the grass, which slowed me down a bit. Starting to lose contact with the first place driver, allowing the third place driver to catch up. Now through the left, into the double-double, and a flip. Remember what's going on in that double-double. The very first double has been hollowed out. And if you go through the center of the track, it's very difficult to get through there clean. So what I've been trying to do is work on the inside line furthest away from the driver's stand. That seemed to be the best approach. First place now going through the double-double. We did well. Second going through the double-double. So I've moved to third place, struggling through the double, little flip at the end. Now going through the double in the center, through the middle, into the chicane. So now running third place. I lost a place, and we're only second 2 laps in. So part of it was I think I was moved to a different spot on the stand, so my depth perception was a little off. I thought I could still do well there. Coming down, going through the double-doubles now. You can see I'm in third and fourth and fifth. They're pressing hard right behind me to catch up. They want that podium spot in third. Top left now, going down the left side, heading toward the step up, through the step up. A little bit of a tangle there, I think. A little bit of a tangle. Let's see how we make out landing. Now we're in the top left, down the straightaway, through. Oh, and what has happened now is I've moved back to fourth place. The car passed for third. Up in that top, over the step up, had a little trouble up there. Back over there to the right, going through the step up now. Trying to pressure that third place driver. Fifth place right behind me, not giving any sign of letting up. Coming through the center. This time I get a good run through the double-doubles. Good run through the single. Third place bobble a little, gives me a chance to try to get in place. Into the top right now, bottom right, going over the step up. Trying to keep with third, this little pack of third, fourth, and fifth that I find myself in. Over in the bank corner, top left, down the straight. Now through the center. Again, a good set of double-doubles there. I was really working, trying to get up to the inside line of that. It was the smoothest on the first set of jumps. Let's pick up the race again. Going through the double section, the step-up section. Through the crossover. Losing ground to third place. Didn't do too badly through the double-double. Get through the single double there. Back through the infield. Under the crossover. Through that little chicane. I was finding I was getting a little bit of a push in that chicane. Driving it a bit too deep. Now we go to the step-up section. Trying to catch third over the crossover. I think we had a little bobble there in the crossover. Letting fifth get super close. Washed out a bit in the doubles. Collision. Racing incident. Now from this camera's perspective, I'm not sure if you can see it, but that has bent my wing. The rear wing is now the opposite effect. It's pointed toward the ground in the back, not pointed up. I'm losing a bit more rear grip. Let's see how that impacts the race. So that was the pass. Fourth place got by. Now sitting in fifth, steadily moving down this grid. Had some bad luck. Oh, we've had a very good double-double. Let's try the single. So that is working well through the chicane. Right hand side down into the step up. Again, pretty good. Trying to get that fourth place back. Trying to reel him in. My thought now is just, let's see what we can do with this race. Coming down. Poor run through the double-double. Had to single the first two. Now going through the chicane section. We do have a car in between fourth and fifth, I think. There's a blue car there. Let's see if he comes into play. Over the crossover through the berm. We're now on the left coming onto the double-double. pushed super wide the entry into that double-double. Took a very wide line. Oh, and also jumped into the grass a little bit. Now through the chicane in the middle, going top right. So all these little things are just losing little bits of time. A little bit of tenths here and there. And working to the crossover section, through the crossover jump. See fourth place, just pulling away. He went through the doubles nicely. Again, a poor double-double section, drove into the grass, come out. So much dust in there that I'd lose the rear end of the car and get a bit of rear steer. And it was very tough to maintain a straight line through that for my car, the way it was set up and with the amount of dust. You can see there's lots of cars fighting through the dust there. We're into the crossover section up through the berm. There's fourth place going through the doubles. He had a poor section there. I was able to gain a little bit through that with a good double, but the blue just happened to pause right there in front of me, slowed me down a little. Again, any benefit I had was lost with the contact there with that car. Now, going through the step up. In through the center section, heading toward the crossover. You can see fourth place through the doubles very nicely. Again, pushed super wide through the doubles on that entry. Again, lost precious tenths. To the top right. Heading down now through the step up, through the center. I think I made a few feet on the fourth ahead of me. A few good laps. Coming on to the doubles now. I tried my best there, yes. Perfect double-double section. But flipped in the next double, so I would say that's about all we could do with that. With that mistake late in the race, I would settle for fifth in this race in the Race of Champions. So had a great second qualifier, got into second qualifier overall. Then this final, the dust had come up and my car just didn't have the traction. So there we go. If you like this type of thing, click like. If you have any comments, please comment below and subscribe to see the next video in the series. We're going to see probably the last of our club races. We'll see you again. All drivers are finished. The race is completed.